Are we slowly giving up our freedom? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, May the 3rd. May already. Wow. This time flying. And the markets have not been all that happy. It's pretty much a mixed week. But I think the big question is are we, as the Fed tries to make a leveraged buyout of America, are we slowly giving up our freedoms with all these lockdowns and stay-at-home orders and no longer being able to move about as we'd like to? I think you're starting to see a little bit of a rebellion, a little bit of a revolt, and let's see where this all leads. But at the end of the day, I mean, with all of the so-called free money, which of course we'll have to pay for when it's all said and done, and with the Fed continuing to intervene in America and destroy the dollar and destroy everything we have, it looks to be we could see some problems down the road. I mean, certainly it's not a you have so many different things going on that show that we might be on the path to some socialism here. Again, I'm just saying, even to the fact of, what we see with between the Fed and the different states and not being able to come and go as you want. Again, I understand all the social distancing, but I think at some point you have to make the decision on when this total destruction is worth what's going on, and I think that's the bigger question here. So we'll see where it lays from here. But again, certainly it's been a very tough period, and how many businesses are we going to lose? Even if we get the economy up and running today, obviously we're starting to see some things open, but you're not seeing businesses that are going to flourish for sure. I mean, you've already got enough small business that is gonna be just total destruction. So where are we going from here, and how are we going to get there? And of course, we can thank China for that. You may agree or disagree, but certainly they certainly knew more than they let on. Whether or not they started it, whether or not there was a motive behind it, that I don't know. But what I do know is it definitely would have been much less of a problem if the Chinese would have communicated with us. I know that it would have been a much lesser problem if we would have had, somebody letting us know instead of kind of sneaking it in and suddenly exploding into this major disaster that we have here. And of course, the left side of the aisle is not helping anything. They're now instead of wanting to move forward, they want to do an investigation on how President Trump handled this thing. So again, we go back into the same things as we talked about many, many times. Is Congress ever going to get off their ass and do something, or are they going to continue to try to slow the country down and try to make things unlivable, because that's basically what they're doing. And I think that it's pretty much disgusting. And of course, you can also, all you trolls out there can support their actions, but I don't know whether you're left or right of this issue on your political side, but anybody you can support what they're doing on the left has got something to think about. I mean, this is, again, we're supposed to be working together. The country's supposed to be coming together to take care of these issues, and you've got Mr. Schiff talking about that it's because of Trump we've lost 50,000 people, and again, to me this is ridiculous already. It's gotten to the point where get him out of office. I mean, it's just silly. But let's watch Pelosi eat her ice cream at home. It's more important. But in the meantime, you've got so many things that are going on. And of course, you just saw, or maybe you didn't see yet, but Berkshire Hathaway dumped all of their airlines, okay, and took about a $50 billion hit last year. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, obviously he's very heavily invested and had huge percentages of these companies. But, again, is that a warning sign ahead? Well, we don't see Buffett panicking yet, okay? But certainly some of his investors will. And of course, there was a call out there the other day that somebody called American Airlines at $1. Again, I don't know that it will be that devastating, but certainly the way that we travel, the way that we do business is going to change. There are going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be wiped out or change the way they do business. We're going to see much more of people working from home. Now, in the big picture, long term, that's a good thing, okay, if you're a company owner, because it will cut down on some of your expenses. But certainly, it is not a good thing today. It is going to make a big destruction of the real estate market, of the rental market, and again, there's a lot of things out there that are going to have to be worked out, and how are we going to get through it? And yet, the markets continue to hold up. The markets continue to perform okay. I mean, again, listen, we had some late selling at the end of last week after Apple and Amazon's earnings. But, again, when you look at what is happening, the overall picture is somewhat bleak for the very short term. Now, again, we know that America, okay, has always been able to come back. And I don't think this time will be any different. I think we'll be able to come back. And I'm sure we'll be able to come back even stronger the next time. But, again, in the short term here, it seems to me that the investors may be just a little bit too spunky here, but we'll talk about that when we get to our market section. And I find it interesting that our overpriced universities, okay, our colleges and universities that really stick it to you. I mean, again, when you're talking about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year for tuition, okay, for what? That I don't know. But and I just finished putting 2 kids through school and $500,000 later. So again, I understand it, but they're not refunding the money that was paid for next year when they're probably not going to open. I mean, again, where are we coming to when you can't get your money back either once you pay it back, once you pay it in? All right? It's bad enough that we create so much debt to begin with, and now you want to hold back the money of somebody who paid in which you're not going to fulfill your service. Okay, that to me, okay, is nonsensical. Okay, again, I don't know. I don't have all of the details, but on the surface, it seems very, very troubling. And I think more troubling is, we continue to get our freedoms chipped away at. We continue to give up more and more. And I don't understand. Again, we are the home of the free, okay, and the land of the brave. And all of a sudden, we get to these situations and we're willing to give up more and more of our potential futures and our potential self-control of ourselves. I mean, again, I'm a little bit concerned, where these things go, and again, how is it going to go? I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I think that I would certainly hope that if somebody would take some notes from Howard Schultz, Starbucks ex-CEO. Now again, I'm not a big fan, okay, but I can certainly credit the man for making one heck of a franchise, right, or a business in Starbucks, and he came up with a plan that I thought was unbelievable, and I can't believe that we aren't using that plan. And that was, instead of giving out all this free money to all these companies and everybody else, why not let the Fed or the banks create a new loan market with minuscule rates, okay, even whatever the number is, and let the companies borrow the money and pay it back instead of handing it out, okay? Because how many businesses already that we've heard of that have gotten some of this free money that A, don't need it, B, because some of this money is going to be forgiven, but yet why don't we make it where it's a loan to everybody, okay? And then you pay it back. You pay it back, like I said, you could make it 1%. The number doesn't matter. Listen, you could make it the same price as the 10-year note. It doesn't really matter. But yet, we want to continue to make it more free, which means we print more. Again, to me, it becomes a much bigger deal. Okay. And, I think that, when you look at things that are going on, of course, you take a look at some of the states that are in trouble. Okay. We can start with the three majors, which is New York, Illinois, and California. Okay. That are all in dramatically poor shape financially before coronavirus. It wasn't just the coronavirus. Okay. Before that. And now they want to be bailed out for billions of dollars because they didn't want to fund their pensions from years ago. I believe that Illinois has not funded their pension since 1999, banking purely on the growth of markets. Okay. Now again, the pension problems that we're going to have in this country are going to be unbelievably bad. Okay. You talk about how bad Social Security is. You should see some of these pension funds. Okay. And yet here they are. Okay. At the window begging for more money. They don't want to get their states open. They don't want to get them running, but they're at the window begging for money. And of course, we know who they're run by. I don't have to comment on it, but we know who runs those, whereas other states are, still fine and in good shape. So again, to me, you look at this picture and, there's something wrong with the overall picture. And of course, obviously, I think probably the biggest thing wrong with the big picture is that the federal government has gotten way too big. Okay. I think that goes back to why are we not trying to follow the original Constitution, okay, which is, a city, state, county, or a city, county, state, okay, and then the federal was an overseer instead of taking charge of everything. I think this has been something that's been long in coming and for too many years, and we continue to let big government get even bigger. And we know that is a lousy formula as we can look around the world at anywhere else. But of course, so is the central banking system as well. So again, that's why you're seeing some action again, once again, the cryptos. But again, between everything that everybody wants to get done, okay, what they've really done is they're really taking away your and my freedom with every step. And the day they get to a digital currency, you can kiss your ass goodbye, because that means any privacy you ever wanted is gone forever. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step out here for a break, and we will be back with more after the break. What's up, all? Hey, listen, yesterday did a great webinar, hedging, just about sold out. And of course, I can send you a copy of the webinar if you'd like to see it. You can just email me and I'll give you my email in a minute. And of course, we just introduced our brand new, not our brand new, but our new partner, and that's Andy Hecht from Hecht Commodities. And he writes an unbelievable commodities report. Not only does he do weekly information, stats, monthly and quarterly. You want to talk about a full service brokerage. And of course, Andy is a guy that's been around the globe as a commodity analyst, expert, and trader. Okay. And he has done things that nobody else has done in this industry. And we have him here right now at Bubba Trading, and he's offering his report right now for $800 a year. Okay. And if you want, or you can go for $100 a month. But I'm going to tell you, this is the best piece of writing. And of course, you want to check him out. He's the #1 author at Seeking Alpha. So you can check him out. But he is now part of the Bubba Trading team. And of course, don't forget about our brokerage partners. CTG, Futures and Commodities, what a great job they do. They handle all of our letter direction trading. They handle everything else. They have some new stuff coming out, and they have great customer service, along with Tradier for equities. Okay, you want free commissions? $10 a month flat. Okay, again, not maybe free, 65 cents, $10 a month flat. Trader brokerage, they do a great job. Their service is outstanding. So you want to get a hold of either any of that information, please email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, don't forget about our high school program. Again, we're trying to rebuild it now as we get ready to go back to school, and hopefully we'll go back to school in the fall. And now let's get back to, maybe I should tell you where it's from though. Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with your host, me, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, May the 3rd. And of course, finally, it looks like the weather's breaking. Are the markets breaking is a bigger question. And again, I don't know if the markets are breaking. I mean, honestly and factually, we're still long. Okay. I certainly didn't like the action late Thursday or early Friday or Friday in general. Obviously, we had some, mediocre news from Apple and Amazon. But again, I look at Amazon's earnings just, FYI. I mean, they had made an all-time new high Thursday morning. So the stock is down 4 or 5% from after a rally of 20% or over 20%. So we'll see. Again, right now, the markets still lack liquidity. There's not much going on. So I can't put my finger on anything saying we're definitely going to do this. I mean, do I think that before we're all said and done, we make new lows again? Yeah, I do think that. But again, because I'm trading mechanically, I am not going to get rid of and change the signals because I have an opinion of what might happen a month from now, 6 months from now. I don't know when it's going to happen. Okay. So again, markets just don't fall apart and collapse as you just saw. They tried to take them down. They brought them right back up. So we'll see. Again, the beautiful thing of mechanical trading is eventually, if it does change, we'll be short and we will benefit from it as we have benefited from many of the other markets, which you've been a party to because you've heard them talked about here all the time. So right now, we're still long equities. That's all. And, when it's time to change, we'll change. And of course, now that change won't be at least until Tuesday and probably not then either. And of course, I mentioned the oil markets. And of course, if you remember, we were long oil. When the Saudi had that problem and oil spiked $10, we were short oil over the last, a few weeks, and of course done well. And now we're starting to see oil. Maybe it has finally found a bottom. But remember, oil can still go negative again in June. Okay. Again, remember it's that long squeeze of trying to find places for delivery. Now again, I'm not predicting that. We certainly could find a base, and as we start to get things open, it certainly may improve. The real question here is if there's a dramatic turnaround or if there's I can't think of the right word right now, but a relapse, okay, in the economy, you could see another problem. But again, hopefully, I don't want to see it go back negative again. We are short, and I'm not looking for the wire, but I certainly don't want to see, the devastation because again, we need to have the oil companies in business for now. We need to have those jobs. We need it all. So again, to see it get collapsed again is not a good thing for the economy in general. The bonds continue to be in consolidation. Of course, the Fed was out last week with who knows what they said. You need a translator to hear what the Fed says, but the bonds are just stuck in a range. I mean, they're not going up too far up. They're not going too far down. They're going flatline. And again, I think that you're going to see obviously potentially zero rates or below before it's all done. I mean, with 8 interventions already in less than 4 weeks. So we'll see how that plays out. We are still long bonds, by the way. The dollar is kind of still in that range of 99 to 101. We are short. But again, I think you're seeing, although the Fed is trying to destroy the dollar, you're seeing the world going there as a safe haven play. So that's what I think is keeping it in this range. In the meantime, it is still working its way higher and not bad in gold. It looked to me that all last week there was a big seller. Actually, from the Friday the 24th through Thursday, okay, the 30th, it seemed to be there was somebody who was under some forced liquidation. Every day for about 5 minutes, you had a big seller come in and lam away for about 20 bucks in about 3 minutes. Suddenly, Friday, after being well lower and looking very bad, reversed out and came up and came back. But at the end of the day, if you look at a chart, it really held exactly where it should have held. And now it looks like, again, it's on target to maybe make a run at that top end, 1800. Silver and platinum look okay. I mean, they don't look great. Platinum is starting to look better, but again, they've got some key overhead resistance that they've got to get through before we can think that their bottoms are in. I mean, their tops are in. But again, we're long them all. So that's my position. So again, that's what it looks like. The agricultural space, it's tragic. Okay, corn continues to be under much pressure. Now, it did have a couple of nice days at the end of the week, but man, I mean, our poor farmers. Again, if you don't think it's important, okay, they've got a lot of problems here. I mean, again, this no economy, this whole thing that we talked about all during the week. Okay, not only can't they sell, they've still got to pay to plant. They've still got inventory. They got nowhere to go with it, and it becomes a much bigger problem. Same thing for beans and wheat, but obviously corn is a big product. And it's devastating. And again, obviously we can get the economy open and get things running, and maybe we can get the food chain, the supply chain running again. We'll be okay. In the meantime, we stand short across the board right now. And again, as you know, I'd love to be long, and hopefully we'll get that turn soon. But for now, again, I don't see anything that says you got to jump in. It's very exciting yet. But it will happen, and like any other market, they won't announce themselves, but they'll show up. Okay, the meats, they looked a little bit better last week, I must say. Okay, but again, we have to look where they're coming from. Feeders look pretty decent. All right, they're kind of towards the upper end of our range. Fats came off of a nice bounce. Now we're still short both of those, but hogs did have a couple of nice bounces, and we did get long hogs on Wednesday. So again, they look better. But again, the big key here is the supply chain's got to open, the slaughterhouse has got to open. Otherwise, we have the same problems they have. It's actually a bigger problem, I believe, in meats than it is in grains, because in meats, they got to feed them. They got to store them. What are you going to do with them? Okay. It costs money to feed. They just don't come out of magic. So again, issues, but everything right now depends on, can we get the food chain going again? Can we get the supply chain? Can we get everything back? We know we're not getting back to 100%, but at least if we can get it flowing again, it will help relieve some of this pressure, because, of course, farmers have been under pressure, oversupplied for, not just because of this. They've been oversupplied for a couple of years. And without a weather event or anything to disrupt, now you've got an event that's the worst. The growing is continuing, but the buying is stopping. So it's been a very, very tough situation. And of course, copper has reversed, and we're now long copper. Okay. And, look, at the end of the day, markets are markets. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that I can tell you what's going to happen next. I think long term, obviously, eventually you make new highs. But I think before we make new highs, I think there's a better than even chance that we make new lows. But in the next 6 or 7 days, I have no idea. Okay, we'll see what it looks like. There's people that are concerned that Buffett is in trouble. So maybe, there's going to be some big selling tonight, tomorrow morning. We'll see. I would suspect, okay, in my eyes, a lot of the information might have been priced in. I mean, you could see by the price action of those stocks that somebody was selling. So we'll see. Now again, there's a big debate out there about market manipulation into metals, and the first thing I ask you is, so what? If there is market manipulation in metals, what difference does it make? If you're trading it, okay, it doesn't affect the way you trade it. If you're trading the metals, okay, the metals will trade like price action like anything else, whether they're being manipulated or not. So what is the big deal? To me, it's, of course, once again, the trolls out there just trying to create havoc and trouble for no reason, because price action dictates, I don't care what you think, okay, whether manipulated or not, it's still going to come down to price. So if you're following a trend, for example, and the manipulators are in, you're basically following them. They're dictating the price action. So in effect, you're also manipulating. And somebody sent me the article of the JP Morgan guys that are under investigation for spoofing. That wasn't price measure. Look, bottom line, everybody spoofs. Okay, I mean, if you ever sold a house, you spoofed. Okay, if you ever sold a car, if you ever sold anything, you certainly didn't make it look bad. You made it look better, or you made it like you had a higher bid when you were selling it. So let's not make the manipulation argument, because again, if it is manipulated and you're trading it, what difference does it make? As my grandmother, who liked to go to the track, used to say, maybe I'll bet on the crooked horse. Okay, so again, it doesn't. If you don't know, if you're not the manipulator and you're following the price action, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Okay, if you're trading it, okay, and if you're investing on it, gold has continued to show, upward movement over time. So why would I expect that to be different today? In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd, Bubba, Horwitz. We're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be right back with my commentary. Well, everybody, so listen, I want to talk to you about our brand new product, the Hecht Report. Okay, Andy Hecht and his commodities report. I'm telling you, it's sensational, unbelievably full in detail of major commodities around the world. And how does he know them? Because he traveled around the world and traded them and dealt with them from Russia to Korea to Brazil, Chile. I mean, worldwide, he was the known commodity experts, came out of the banking institutions as the number one player in the commodities market, from metals to meats. Andy's your guy. We've now had his report on our site, and he is now part of the Bubba Trading family. And you can certainly get his report if you'd like, $100 a month or $800 a year. But I urge you to check it out. And of course, for your brokerage needs, we've got the best. Okay, CTG Group for commodities and futures, and they've got some new stuff going on there as well. But they take care of you. They handle all of our letter direction trading. They are on top of it. You call them, they answer the phone, no voicemail. Same thing goes for our brokerage partners in equities. That's Tradier. Okay, Tradier, again, $10 a month flat. Where can you beat that? They are on top of their game. They take care of you. They help you. And plus, you save a lot of money. So if you want any of that information, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com, as always. And of course, let's get back to my show, Bubba's Bottom Line, and I give you my commentary for the week. Welcome back, everybody. And here we are as we sit in our lockdown for, I don't know, a day, whatever it is. It's a lot of days. Okay. But in the meantime, I think I find it very interesting. The first thing I find interesting is that the best candidate that the left can put forward is Joe Biden. Okay, already a two-time loser, soon to be a three-time loser. But he's catching up with Romney and the Romney family, right? The Romney family, I think, was 3 or 4 time losers in their careers. But the real interesting thing about this is that why, when Brett Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court Justice, when they talked about sexual abuse, he was grilled. It went all over the place. And of course, it destroyed everything. And of course, they believed him. They believed the woman, which you should, 100%. Yet, here's Joe Biden, almost an identical situation. And yet, nobody believes the woman. Okay. And even the boss of the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, doesn't believe her. So now I guess we work with a double standard on how this works, right? We decide that, okay, well, because he's our candidate for president, it's important. So we're not trying to block the other president. We're trying to make sure that we keep our guy that's going to be there, that can't remember where he is half the time, to run for president. All right. But so the sexual abuse allegations don't matter. And not that we can't open the files from Delaware, okay, that Mr. Biden won't put those, Vice President Biden won't put those in. So again, I wonder, how did we get to the point where now it's a total double standard? So if you're President Trump or anybody that he wants in, they get scrutinized with a magnifying glass, and they're always wrong. Or when you get to, in this case, Vice President Biden looking to get the nomination, that, oh no, she's wrong, she did not, and there's no sexual abuse here. So how does that all work out? That would be my question of the day. Again, I think the whole system is broken. You can take either side. They're both crap, okay? But right now, it happens to be the destruction from the left. But again, you can take either the right or the left when it's all said and done, and the whole system needs a overhaul. In the meantime, everybody have a great weekend. I certainly appreciate you tuning in, and of course, it's going to be a challenge, and the challenge is not over yet. But try to stay healthy. Hopefully, you'll be able to get out. The weather's starting to get nice, so everybody have a great week, a great weekend, and of course, we will see you tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.